Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? Hopefully, whimsical and wonderful and all the good things during this time. It is the holiday season, and even if you know, during this time, it's just fun and whimsical, and I like stuff like that. It's so much fun. Today's episode, this is actually a part 2. I do have a part 1 from, I want to say maybe a couple years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. But this is part 2 of You Can't Do Simple Things with Difficult People. You can't do simple things with difficult people, part 2. Now, I'm going to stick to 5. 5 has just been the number because, of course, it can go on and 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 on. It's always going to depend on your own personal experience. And sometimes when you are experiencing these things with people, you don't see it right away for whatever reason. It can be someone that you are in love with, someone you admire. Whatever that dynamic is, it's not always based on one particular thing, such as a relationship or whatever. It can this is just a widespread thing, just in general. But as I mentioned, it depends on everyone's experience. Everyone's experience is different. But of course, the more you become more aware of yourself, which a lot of people do not do. A lot of people do not take the time to sit back and reflect. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who don't like themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't even respect themselves enough to actually take the time and do that. They want to be difficult. You know, and the thing is, if you will consider their feelings and consider their situation all the time, guess what's going to happen? It's going to mess with your brain. It's going to rewire your brain. But the more you step back, the more you care for yourself, the healthier you eat, the more you move your body, all of those things, you're going to begin seeing things more clearly. The differences on the path will make you see things differently. And unfortunately, the more you work on yourself, the more you're going to want to step back. And it's not anything against them. And a lot of people fail to realize that. Nothing against them. But when you're on a different path and you are free from different things, you just tend to put your energy towards other things. You're going to naturally begin to do that. And at the end of the day, people can take it however they want. You can take it however you want, right? Just let them be difficult on their own. Let them figure out whatever situation they're in. Let them figure it out. You have your own stuff that you got to do. You got to take care of yourself. You got to put yourself first sometimes. So yeah, getting right back into it. You can do simple things with difficult people. Part 2. Number 1. Some people, they want to be defiant. It gives them some sense of control. You know, maybe that's the only kind of control they feel that they have in their lives. They want to be that way. You know, you can try to help them in each way, every direction, every different step of the way. And they still just don't want to do it. They want to be that way. Let them. It might be something that's simple for you. They want to be against the grain. Let them. Go ahead, right? Number 2, they don't like solutions. How can you try to help someone or give someone, in your mind, it might be simple solutions, and it doesn't register to them. They don't want to do it. They want to stay in whatever problem they're in. It gives them comfort. Maybe they're familiar with it, and they just, deep down, they probably like it. There are some people who actually like their problems. They don't want to improve, although they have all the potential to do so. They don't want to. They're comfortable in that situation, and you got to leave them alone sometimes. You can only want something for someone so much. They got to want it for themselves too. Number 3, highlights of their day is complaining. The highlight of your day is the complete opposite. You might come across something at work or whatever. You might come across something and it probably rubbed you the wrong way. And instead of you dwelling on it, you're going to move on from it, and you have the capacity to understand this situation happened. I'm not going to dwell on it. It is what it is. I'm going to move forward. Some people, no. That's the whatever that problem is, that's the highlight. Now, whatever situation happened, whether if it's big or small, now that just added a layer, and that just gave them a reason to be a complainer, or whatever that situation is. And I don't say anything specifically because it doesn't have to be anything specific. Some people, they will dwell on whatever happened that day, and that whatever that thing is, it's going to add on to whatever issues they dwell on. They want it. Whereas you might be the complete opposite. So how is that going to, that's not going to elevate you if someone is having a particular thing going on, and they're, instead of wanting to go this way, they want to drag someone down with them because they find comfort in it. They want you to come down with them. So they, they're saying all these things, trying to get your mood down. They call those the what is it called? The energy vampires. Yeah, you got to be careful with them. Number 4, some of them like their problems deep down, and I kind of mentioned that earlier. They do. How can you help anyone if deep down they like their problems? In their mind, they are wired to thrive off of chaos, and that works for them. In a weird way, it works for them. Now, some people, such as myself, we don't thrive in chaos. We will escape. I've lived in environments where I would be sure I'm always out the house. I want to be out the way because I can't be around the energy. There's something that's going on. And even if it's not necessarily bad energy, if it's too much, being someone who is neurodivergent, mild adult ADHD. I didn't have ADHD as a kid. No, this triggered in my adult life, and a lot of it came from chaotic environments. So for me, I don't thrive off of chaotic environments. Now, for some people, does it work for them? Do they like that type of energy? Yeah. And this message isn't for them. This message is for those who are a little bit more on the sensitive side when it comes to these types of energies, whether if it's in the environment or if it's certain people. For us, less is more. So that means no drama at all. We're just not going to thrive in that. So getting back to number 4, when you're dealing with people who are used to environments like that, your guys' interactions are going to be different. They're going to be different. And there's actually this documentary, I think it's on Hulu, called Sensory Overload. they kind of go deeper into people who are on the sensitive side. And it, it can be anybody, because you can have multiple diagnoses, right? So I say all that to say, people who are a little bit more on the sensitive side when it comes to our sensory overload, it's a really low percentage. So when you think about it, when people are on social media or like reality TV or all these different types of energies, and some of them are like more on the drama side, chaotic side, a lot of people can handle that. A lot of people are entertained by that. They can handle it. They like it. They like it. So, that's why I don't like to say if it's a bad or a good thing. It really just depends on how you are using your energy, but also depends on how you're perceiving it. So if you're not a person who likes to be around stuff like that, you have to get better at limiting yourself with those types of interactions. And again, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with them. Sometimes it can be if they have all these kinds of problems, but now you're a part of the problem. That's a whole nother thing. But if some people they're thriving and they're not necessarily, a bad person, but they have all this stuff going on, doesn't necessarily make them a bad person, but again, it just depends on the person and whatever situation they're in. But getting back to it, when it comes to simple things or trying to be there for someone, just consider that when it comes to their own personal problems. Are they actually trying to fix the issue, or do they like it deep down and maybe they just want some attention and they just want to vent or whatever, So, it just, I know it's all over the place, but hey, if you receive the message, then it's for you. Okay. Number 5, last one. You cannot do simple things with difficult people, because whatever the solution is, it might make perfect sense to you, but it might be problematic for them. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a friend who they don't want to go through a breakup, or they don't want to go through a divorce. They don't want to go through those steps, and maybe it's because they still want access to the person, or they want access to whatever benefit they're getting from that person. Maybe they're just not ready. Now, for you might be like, oh no, this person crossed the line, boom, bam, boom, bang. We're breaking up. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with the disrespect. I'm just not doing it. Now, for you, that might be such a simple thing, right? It's so simple. It's like, wow, that was it. Now, your friend or the other person that's going through whatever the situation is, a divorce or a breakup, it may not be that simple for them. It might, or in their mind, they might think it can bring up or stir up more problems. So it's just one of those things. You have to think of the way you are as a person, as an individual, versus how other people or difficult people are. And I go like this a lot, because we might think they're difficult, but they're not being difficult. It's all perspective. But I say all that to say, just use your best judgment and trust yourself. And if it's something that doesn't feel right for you, or if it's something that you don't feel that you should be a part of, then you don't do it. Trust yourself. Don't lose yourself and other people's stuff. Because a lot of the times that can happen. especially as a people pleaser. You might lose yourself in the process because you are so involved in other people's stuff where you don't really have a life of your own. What I've learned is it's okay to have space. Have space with yourself. Have space between you and your friends. Have space between you and your partner if you are involved with someone. You don't have to constantly be around people, or being around people is not necessarily a part of you. You can be your own person, and you can find yourself growing and evolving by getting to know yourself more, by not being a part of the problem, or by not being a part of other people's problems. Maybe there are things that you need to work on personally, and maybe a lot of these things you need to work on your own. So I say all that to help encourage people, to help people whoever is, going on whatever journey that is. A lot of the times when you're going on whatever journey, a lot of it's by yourself. A lot of it is by yourself. You can still socialize, be there for your friends, be there for your partner, and things like that. But sometimes you have to take a step back. I hope this reaches someone. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves and staying warm, staying healthy. Get some walks, drink plenty of water, drink a smoothie, feel good, and I will see you in the next podcast. Bye.